Westward is a podcast about the birth of professional basketball in Los Angeles and what the city's two teams represent today. It is told through the man who was and is at the center of both, Jerry West.
A production of the Dan Patrick Podcast Network.
Listen to Westward on the iHeartRadio app, on Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
On the podcast Transportista, you'll hear the true story of a pilot who smuggled drugs for some of the world's most dangerous drug lords. El Transportista tells the tale in his own words from behind the bars of a federal prison, speaking on a smuggled cell phone.
My full name is Fernando Blengius Aceña, and I am currently 50 years old. I am a pilot.
Listen to Transportista on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
I sure will. Good morning, everybody. You are listening to The Voice. Come on, dig me now. One and only, Steve Harvey. Got a radio show. Man, oh man, oh man. I thank God for it. I thank God for all he's done for me, for all the little things that I oftentimes fail to thank him for, that I take for granted for. You know, I was talking the other day to a buddy of mine. We had gotten to this conversation about God, and in the conversation we had narrowed it down, and we were talking about changing the way we are as people. You know, that everybody has to change. You know, nothing stays the same. Everybody changes, and a lot of these changes can be for the good, and a lot of them are they just come with time. You know, sometimes it's aging that changes us. But no matter how old you get, you still have the ability to improve as a person. You may not have the foot speed you used to have. You may not be as agile as you used to be. Your energy level may not be what it used to be. Your desire to do some of the things that you used to do may be gone. The thing that doesn't have to change and will not change is you. You have the ability to continue to grow as a person. Even when Father Time and nature has taken its course, we were talking about everybody can change, and everybody has the right to reinvent themselves as they get older. And I equated it to jumping out of an airplane. You know, there are some people, man, who get to a certain point in their life and they jump from the airplane is now almost a stunt of some kind. It's almost like their life done got out of control. You ever seen somebody jump out of an airplane and the parachute don't open and their life start, and it seems like they start spinning and tumbling and they can't get it together? And I've seen some mid-air rescues before, but then there are times when when it hasn't worked. You know, you jump out that airplane and at first it's fun. I've never skydived before, but I would imagine when you first jump out of an airplane that people describe it as a sense of being free. And it's exhilarating when you first jump out the plane. But if you pull that cord and nothing happens, I've never happened to me, but I can only imagine the panic that's got to set in, because no matter how fun it was a moment ago, the flying over to one another, the holding hands in the air, the breeze, the descent, the feeling of all of a sudden, if you reach for that cord and it's not there, you're suddenly spinning out of control. And that's what happens in a lot of people's lives. When you first start your life, you jump out the plane, you free, you young, you ain't got nothing to worry about. But then you get to a certain point in your life when you go, okay, I'm going to pull the cord now. And pulling the cord is an important thing, because here's the analogy my friend gave me. He said, man, use your mind like a parachute. It works better when it's open. Well, see, what happens with a lot of people is they in life they jump out the plane. And they having this free fall. And it's fun for now, but they get to a certain point in their life where they got themselves in a situation, or they've had a little bit too much fun, a little bit too long, or, they wasn't open to nothing, and they just did what they wanted to do, or they started getting involved with drugs or drinking, or started running with the wrong people. See, you jump out the plane, at first you're free falling, it's fun. But then after a minute, man, something happens, and they realize, whoa, and they reach for the cord, and the cord don't work. Well, now you're in a panic-stricken situation. And my suggestion and what I've learned from the analogy that my friend shared with me is that we all, the sooner we can open our mind to God, the sooner we can develop that relationship with him. It's like pulling the cord and opening a parachute. If you open up your mind to God, God is like a parachute. God can slow your descent. God can turn this out of control free fall into a nice ride for you. See, that's what happened to me. I was spinning out of control. I had gotten myself into a point, man, where I wasn't doing real good. Oh, y'all would look at me and think, man, Stevie, man, no, I wasn't doing real good. I had spun out of control. I was in a free fall, and I reached for the cord, but I was so far away, the cord didn't open. Then I went to him, and I pulled the cord. When I went to God, I pulled the cord and it opened, and he slowed my descent. And this is what I just believe. I don't believe now that I age as fast as I was aging, because I got that parachute open now. I take better care of myself eating. I work out more now. I'm not out of control. I have a direction now. That wind then got up under that parachute a little bit, and now I'm going, I'm still getting older, but the descent is so slow now, I'm able to enjoy the ride. I'm guiding my parachute over. Sometimes we go over to a vacation spot over here. We float back over to but I'm still getting old. I'm still going down, but the descent, because I've opened my mind to God, the parachute has slowed my descent. And now I'm rocking back and forth, but I ain't spinning out of control no more. I'm able to enjoy the view now. When you jump out that plane and you pull that cord and it don't work, you ain't looking at the view no more. You thinking of only one thing. How can I slow this down? Well, now I'm able to enjoy the view. I'm able to see all the beautiful things on the horizon that God has for me. I'm able to see all the beautiful things around me that he's provided for me over these years, because I've slowed my descent. I use my mind like a parachute. It works better when it's open. Open your mind to God, and so you can see the view, so you can slow the descent, so you can stop the out of control free fall that you've been on, that you can get your life together and see everything out on the horizon that God has for you. It turned out to be a very true statement. Your mind, if you use it like a parachute, it works better when it's open, y'all.
I'm Dramas, and you may know me from The Breakfast Club, Z100, or as the host of The Recap on LATV. And now I'm bringing you my podcast, Life as a Gringo. If you grew up with your authenticity constantly being questioned because you didn't speak perfect Spanish, or just feeling self-conscious because the people you grew up with clowned you because your house smelled a little different, this is the podcast for you. Listen to Life as a Gringo every Tuesday and Thursday on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcast, or wherever you get your podcasts.
I'm Dr. Payman Danielport.
And I'm Dr. John Lakey. We invite you to listen to our new podcast, Forever Young. Together, we're partners in practice for over a decade at the Beverly Hills Plastic Surgery Group, the renowned plastic surgery center in the heart of Beverly Hills, California.
Join us as we put you under the knife and offer a glimpse behind the surgical mask into the fascinating world of cosmetic surgery, the latest breakthroughs in skincare, and what you can do to look and feel forever young.
Listen to Forever Young on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.